Hi. Thanks for joining us tonight for Faith Talk. I'm glad that you could be here, and our hope is that you will have a chance to engage with us and connect, and hope that you'll say hi and follow and subscribe and do all the things that people are supposed to do. So if you're here live, we'd love to be able to interact with you. If you have any questions, please feel free to do so. If you're looking at this after the fact, we'd still love to have your comments and get back to you in terms of what you have to say. So tonight, one of the things that we wanted to look at was just this idea of three reasons why you can believe in God and science. You know, because there's a lot of stuff that's out there that sometimes says that faith and science that they don't mix well, that that they're kind of opposed to each other, and that's never been the case with me. I think that they complement each other really, really well. And so we hope that you'll do that. If I haven't said it already, I'm Rod Ashley. I'm the pastor at Snohomish Faith Church, and hope that you can, again, follow us and just enjoy what's going on in terms of what's happening. Again, feel free to ask a question and just watch. And if you're watching this after the fact, again, we'd love to have your comments. So I want to give you three reasons why I think you can believe in God and the science, and plus that there's going to be a bonus reason at the end. Hey, Jack, good to see you. Thanks for commenting. Really appreciate it. So the first reason is this, is that the Bible is not opposed to science or scientific investigation. Some people kind of make it like the Bible hates people to ask questions or to investigate or do anything like that. But the scripture tells us where God says, test me, try me in things. And one of the things that the Bible does is it gives us a chance to actually investigate. Hi, Deborah. Good to have you jump in. Thanks so much. One of the great things that I've always loved is this idea that someone says, God's given you a great brain, you need to use it. And one of my favorite book titles, I think it was by Josh McDowell from years ago. It's entitled "Don't Check Your Brains at the Door." And so, as Christians, we need to, and whether you're a Christian or not, we need to investigate what it is that we believe, whether it be faith or whether it be science, whether it be politics, or the weather or whatever happens to be the thing. But we need to investigate it. And so, if anything, our belief in God, what we believe is intelligent design, gives us a desire to explore and understand God's creation even more. So the Bible's not opposed to investigation, not opposed to checking things out. And as a matter of fact, modern day science was established by many prominent scientists who were devout Christians. If you know anything about the history of science, especially from even pre-Enlightenment time and moving on, many of the foundational scientists were people who had devout faith in God. They sometimes got in trouble with the current church at the time because people believed different things. But they were just amazing, brilliant people who believed in God and believed that the universe was meant to be examined and that nature was meant to be examined. Hey, Pam, thanks for posting. Appreciate that. And so if you think about some of the prominent people, there's people like Galileo, who is the father of scientific method and observational astronomy, and he built upon Nicholas Copernicus, who was the one that placed the sun as the center of the universe. And so these are some pretty devout people who just really, they didn't just do one thing, they did multitudes of things in terms of scientific endeavor and foundational research, and that really made science, evolve the way that it did. You got someone like Isaac Newton, who was a mathematician, astronomer, and father of gravitational theory. The guy that supposedly the apple fell down from the tree. I think that story needs to be investigated a little bit. I think it's a little bit more of a folk tale than the real thing, but marketing is everything, I guess. So, and then you have Johannes Kepler, who is a pioneer in astronomy. Michael Faraday, who is very much a pioneer in chemistry and electricity, and Gregor Mendel, who is a pioneer in genetics. All these people were people who were devout Christians who didn't see any issue between believing in God and investigating the universe. I mean, they just saw that they complemented each other rather than competed with each other. So the Bible is not opposed to science or scientific investigation. The second thing is that the Bible is not meant to be seen as a science textbook. Let me say that again. The Bible is not meant to be seen as a science textbook. That's not that's not what it was intended for. Now, I think that you find a lot of science in the Bible, but I don't look at it as being the text that I would use for everything. But the Bible does talk about creation, talks about family, talks about birth, life, death, talks about our natural world, talks about astronomy, biology, animal husbandry, sociology, botany, forestry. I mean, there's all kinds of elements and things that are found in the Bible, so it's really useful in that regard. But I don't think it, I don't believe that the scripture was written to be a science textbook. It was meant to tell the story of God reaching out to people, to be in relationship with Him among the chaos of the world, and that God has a plan to restore people to relationship with Him through Jesus Christ. So that's kind of the main point of the Bible, was that's intent. And so if you look at it from a textual perspective, that's kind of more the meaning of the text. That's what its intent was. Hey Gary, thanks so much for the encouragement. Good to hear from you. And so in telling of that story, there are references to heaven, earth, the universe, all those things. And so there's great value in that. And I know that when we were raising our kids and we homeschooled our kids, that there was a real emphasis to try to make the Bible be a science textbook. And if that's your approach and if that's your perspective, okay, you know. But I don't think that that's what the intent was for the Bible. And I think you'd have to supplement the Bible with a lot of different things in order to get a really good biology or scientific perspective foundation for your kids if you use it that way. The third thing is that prominent scientists today see no dispute between scientific research and faith. Sometimes there's some prominent atheists that you'll see on YouTube, Facebook, whatever social media thing is out there, who will declare how Christians must be silly and believe in fables to embrace this idea of faith in God and reject science. And we don't reject science by any means at all. But many prominent people in the scientific world today, as well as in the past, they don't see it as a competition between faith and doing the scientific thing. They see it really does complement each other. If anything, faith in God, faith in God's Word, makes science even more fascinating as you discover more of the amazing systems and complexities of life and the universe. I don't know if I mentioned it, but my undergraduate degree is in biological science, and then I have a minor in physical sciences. And it just fascinated me, and it still fascinates me, about the complexities of not only the universe but of the cell, about life, about plants. I mean, it's just amazing. You uncover and you rediscover amazing things, and then you think about people will say, well, it came about because of by chance, by evolution. And you're going, man, that requires greater faith to believe in the evolution than it does for me to believe in an intelligent designer like God who put things in place. And so I guess it is an issue of faith, but for me, I have great confidence in God being that intelligent designer. So as Christians, we believe in the Big Bang Theory. We just believe that God's the author of the Big Bang. And I know that even among Christians, there's some conversations about timing and sequence and all those different things, and that's for another time. But we believe that God is the one who originated all those things. And if you want to look a little bit more, there's some great sources on YouTube. And I would encourage you to check out the column Cosmological Argument on YouTube by Dr. William Lane Craig, who's a great philosopher. It's about 7 minutes long, I think. And it just really talks about, that for something to happen, someone had to be there to make it happen. That God was the one that made the Big Bang take place. And so where did God come from? And no one really has an answer for that. Matter of fact, if you look back, scientists before the 20th century, they didn't even address that issue. They just figured that let's just let it be and just take on from there. But thankfully, people are asking the question, okay, well, if you believe in that, where did it begin? And so They haven't come up with an answer for that. You can also check out, which I think is a fascinating argument, is the fine tuning argument. Again, you can look for that on YouTube. The fine tuning argument, and it talks about how that the Earth is so placed, is so special, so specific, and it's placed in such a way that if anything in our universe is out of alignment, we would not exist here on Earth the way that we are. That the planets are specifically arranged around us at just the right distance, in the right place, and the right size to protect the Earth from any harm that comes from outer space. The gravitational pulls, I mean, everything is so very fine tuned. And I just find that to be an amazing argument about the uniqueness of mankind, the uniqueness of God's creation, the uniqueness of the Earth. And I want to encourage you to do that. Along with that is this idea here, and I want you to think about this, is that, we live in a day and age where people really want to believe in alien life, go to Mars or go to one of the planets or somewhere else in the universe. They really want to believe in alien life. They want to believe in UFOs, but without proof. But they want to reject God when we have proof, and that proof is all around us in the world in which we live, in terms of history, in terms of texts, in terms of just eyewitness testimonies and miracles and things that go on around us. There's all kinds of proofs that prove that God is alive and well, and they put us together. But a lot of people, they don't want to look at that. They want to believe in aliens and UFOs. So again, it comes down to, where do you want to put your faith? Where does your faith go? And so I just think that that's kind of a fun thing. And when you listen to atheists like Sam Harris or Dr. Richard Dawkins, keep in mind that their issues, and they're both, they're both intelligent people. And Dr. Dawkins, his foundation is biology. But when they begin to talk about the philosophy of what you believe and stuff, they move from science into a thing called philosophy and worldviews. So just keep those things in mind, that they leave facts and figures behind, and they move into why you should believe a certain thing or not. And I want to keep you in mind that other prominent Christian scientists who have done stellar work to help communicate the benefit of both God, faith in God, and scientific discovery include, I just want to throw a couple of these people your way, and they are all on YouTube, and you can watch it, or you can get their books or go to their websites. A lot of times you can look at the transcriptions are in the YouTube portion of their channel. So just some really great people. You got Dr. Stephen Meyer, who runs the Discovery Institute, actually here in the Seattle area. He's written Signature of the Cell, and he deals a lot with creation, evolution, and biology, and just really exceptional stuff that's there. Really encourage you. Dr. Stephen Meyer. Dr. Hugh Ross, who's an astrophysicist. He's worked with, I believe, with NASA and other organizations. He's very prominent. Again, Dr. Hugh Ross. Dr. Francis Collins, I think he was the director of the National Institute of Health. He was a part of the Human Genome Project, and so really excellent people. And Dr. Ben Carson, now before he got tainted by Trump, because people, because he was in Trump's cabinet, they think that he, this right-wing extremist. But before politics, he was a world-class, world-renowned brain surgeon. And so he has this concept of, brings that concept of medicine to the conversation. He's just a very devout Christian as well. And then Dr. John Lennox, someone I just thoroughly enjoy the way he thinks, the way he presents. Cambridge professor, mathematician, apologist. You'll get a lot from him, Dr. John Lennox, and then Dr. Seigart, who his foundation is biology. And so they just bring some really great arguments, probably is the wrong word, but they bring some really great conversation to the forum. So take a look at that. Well, Gary, we'll see if we can get Jonah to share some of those YouTube links, and so that's a great idea. Yeah, they're really good. We'll try to supply that. Good suggestion. So all these things are really easy on YouTube, and if you just put them in the search bar, those things will come out. And then the last thing, the bonus session thing is that everyone has a worldview. Everyone has a worldview. Science is the accumulation and the examination of facts, evidence, and phenomena. And these lead to interpretation. And every scientist, keep this in mind, every scientist has a worldview, a perspective in which they look at the world, through which all those facts and evidence are filtered. And if their worldview says that God cannot exist, then they take those facts and that evidence and that's in front of them, and they immediately factor out the fact that God could have anything to do with this. And so they already approach it with a bias. And we have to be careful that as Christians that we have a bias as well. We all think that, oh, I'm unbiased and I'm totally objective, and no, not really. We have to work at and sometimes that means that you have to look at some stuff that it doesn't make you happy, that doesn't fit what you want to look at. But when you examine that, so keep in mind that everyone's got a worldview, everyone's got a perspective, and we saw that with the COVID stuff, because everyone was angry at somebody and they didn't like what they had to say. Well, it's because everyone has a worldview, and it can get in the way. So, hey, Gary, thanks so much. I appreciate that. So, you want to ask yourself the question: can you honestly evaluate the data without your bias getting in the way? Sometimes we can, and sometimes that's really where the benefit is, where you can talk to people and ask questions and investigate a little bit more and let somebody push back against your opinion. It's okay. It's all right. God doesn't get offended. Yeah, again, He's given us a brain. He wants us to use it. Don't check your brains at the door. Anyway, I hope that this is kind of helpful. I appreciate those of you guys who have jumped online to participate in this, and for those of you who are looking after the fact. Again, we'll try to include some of those links that were asked for as well. So again, follow us, subscribe, check in. We'll be here next week, and we're just trying to reach a crowd that we hope that this is beneficial for. So all right. Anyway, going to sign off. Take care, and if you need anything, just reach out to us, and we'll get in touch with you as quickly as we can. All right. Have a great night. Take care. Bye.